Guys, stop falling to the trap of believing what women say they want and what they actually want. Okay, this is something I had to learn the hard way many times over because I fell into this trap just like most guys. And I actually had a coaching call yesterday where the guy was telling me about how this was happening. So listen up, okay? So what women do, actually, you know what? This is what he said. Okay, so now I'll tell you more. But anyway, so he was telling me from the coaching call yesterday that, hey man, like this chick I've seen a few times, and he was seeing her. It wasn't just like a first date. He's been seeing her, and basically she told him, "Oh yeah, I like guys who like show they like me. Do this. Like all the typical stuff. Like, oh, take me out, take me to dinner, and this and that." And I'm probably butchering the details, so I'm sorry, Adrian, if you're hearing this right now and you're hearing me, screw things up. But anyways, she's saying one thing, right? And he's doing these things, and turns out, man, she's pulling back after him doing these things. And it's a typical thing, guys, where women say they want one thing, but they actually want something totally different. And especially today's day and age, man, 2025 beyond, like women, bro. Not hating on them. I have two sisters. I have a mom. All of them I love. I love women. I think they're a great addition. I think if overnight woke up tomorrow and there's no woman in this world, it would, it's a lack. It's something. I think they're great. Beyond just sexual and stuff like that. Just I love that energy and stuff like that. I think the world's very important with women. However, they're gonna say one thing, and it's gonna benefit them. The things that they say they want is all to it's logic. Because we're not logically attracted to people, right? We might say one thing like, "Oh, I want this and that," but how many times have you actually liked someone and you're like, "Whoa, this person's just different than what I'm normally used to liking." It's not like someone I logically like. It's someone who is different. Maybe I think, "Oh, I like blonde girls," or 5'2" and this and that, and but turns out you met this girl and she's Asian and black hair, and she's fucking 5'9", and someone different who you usually like. And it's not logical. That's the thing, guys. There's so many things that we say we like, both men and women, but turns out we don't. It turns out attraction is not a choice. Something you got to get in your head is attraction is not a choice. Okay, she's not gonna, especially women, are not gonna logically like you. They're not gonna be like. There's plenty of guys who are 6'2", Chad, fucking 200K a year they're pulling in or more, and they might be struggling because they fuck up. They act like the nice guy or whatever. Yeah, they get more chances because they're like that. They're 6'2", Chad, good looking, 200K. But there's guys out there who do not do well with women who you think they might. Versus there's a guy out there who's shorter than you, not as good looking as you, makes less money than you, but he's pulling the hotties because he knows that women are attracted to emotion. They're very emotionally based. You know, they're not logically based like they say. They want to say, "Oh, I want a guy who treats me good, who, fucking takes me out to nice dinners, who X, Y, Z," and you're doing all the things right. But it turns out she's banging a dude who's fucking not as good looking as you. Who kind of treats her like shit. Who maybe this guy's a fucking I don't know what he does, but he gives her these emotional spikes, right? And he doesn't want anything from her. He's not chasing a relationship. So that's another thing I'm gonna make a video on. The moment we start chasing relationships with women, bro, they smell this shit and they get disgusted. They are disgusted by this shit. Not to make you feel bad. I've done the same shit, bro. Where I was like, "Oh, this is a nice girl. I'm gonna try to lock her down like that, bro." They need to be locking you down, okay? And that shit happens, okay? The more you're like, "I don't want a relationship. I want to hang out and hook up, have fun, and keep this very lighthearted and very, very chill." You know, most time, even when they say, "Oh, I'm looking for a boyfriend," bro, that's what they fucking want. That's what they fucking want. It's the guy who is not chasing them, who they don't really know where he stands. They're like, "Does he like me, or is he, does he not, or I don't like. How come he doesn't want to be in a relationship?" Every guy out there after their first date is trying to get in a fucking relationship with her. But this guy's not. He's just trying to have fun. He's not being serious, all right? You'll get laid more and have more success with women, by being the fun, chill, fun guy who's not serious, who's not trying to look for a fucking relationship. Okay, they're not. It's one of those things like the more serious you are with women, it like almost scares them. I feel like maybe there's a point when they're like trying to really settle down. They're like 30, 35. They bang all the dudes they wanted, and they're now looking for because now they realize, hey, I'm about to get past my prime. Well, they already are. Not to be hateful or sexist, but they already are at that point because a girl in her prime's 22 around there. Um, I'm not saying career wise, but like her sexual beauty prime is around 22. And that's a study they've done. Men all over the world agree that no matter what age these guys are, whether they're 55, 25, 35, whatever, they all agree for the most part, a girl around 22 years old is the most attractive, beautiful. Like that's their prime. Anyway, so women get to their prime, 30, 30. I mean, not their prime, but their the point where they're looking to settle down and have a family. Usually 30, around there, 35, whatever. Everyone's different. And then all of a sudden they're acting all serious, like, oh, I'm dating with intention. How many times have you seen that on fucking Bumble and shit like that? Dating with intention is because she's dated, had so much fun, fucked guys, been around the block. For the most part, not being sexist. It is what it is, guys. We all know, and the girls who know what's up will agree with this shit. Okay, not hating a woman. It is what it is nowadays. Okay, in Western society. But now they're ready to settle down. So now they're going to be the guy who's more serious, more logically. Oh, well, he makes sense because logically, if he got me pregnant, he makes good money, so he can take care of the kid. I can stay at home and be a stay-home mom. I can, do X, Y, Z, and oh, his family owns, a house over there, so we're gonna inherit that once they're dead, and that's how they're thinking, bro. They're thinking about what you can do for her logically, you know versus when she's trying to date and have fun, bro, not to be serious. She wants a guy who's like fucking not serious, dude. The jokester, the guy, not even sure the jokester, sorry, but like the guy who's fucking like she knows he doesn't want shit from her. He wants to smash and fucking he'll hang out, be chill, but he's not trying to get serious, dude. So girls say this shit at any age, oh, I want a guy who takes care of me, this and that, treats me like a princess. And bro, you see them with a guy who treats her like shit. It's because that's an emotional spike. They love these emotional spikes, whether it's good or bad for the most part. I'm not saying to do bad shit to women. No. But you gotta learn that, okay, what does this asshole do to keep, and he's ugly as hell, he's a stick, he's not as tall as you, whatever. He works a shit job, but why is he getting his hot chick and you're not? It's because he's digging it, like he's giving her that emotional spike, He doesn't give her what she wants logically. He might be hot and cold, and maybe he's like one day real into her, next day he's fucking like asshole, treating her like shit. This and that. It's like up and down like a roller coaster, dude. Think about why are people addicted to roller coasters? Because it's a fucking up and a down, and you're going up, the suspense of going up the track. Oh my god, oh my god. Then the drop. Oh my god, there's the adrenaline dump, and then we're going upside down, and okay, then we're chilling now. We're chilling, it's keeping it cool. Okay, now we're going up again. We're going down. Like it's shit like that. Like being nice is being boring. Girls don't like these nice guys when they're trying to date and have fun and fuck. Like they want the guy who's giving them that emotional roller coaster. So you got to realize, dude. I think honestly, man, today's day and age, the more upfront you're like, hey, like, say you meet a girl, you meet a chick, and the more upfront you're with, like, hey, listen, like, you're cool. I just want to hang out and not be serious. I just want to like go on dates and we can hang out and whatever, and like that relieves so much pressure off women, if believe it or not, because they're like, oh my god, thank God, finally this dude's not gonna like try to date me, Even if she, it's one of those things, man. I feel like my own experience, dude. Literally, I've met girl. There's one girl in particular. I told it's a coaching student yesterday. I met her and asked her out because I think we met at the beach, whatever. Asked her out, and then she like blew me off. And then months later, I just messaged her because I was like, no, I don't have nothing to fucking lose. I messaged her. I was like, hey, you just want to like come over tonight? Because I was like, fuck, I'm not gonna meet this fucking girl again. Fuck her. And then she started being intrigued and shit, and we started hanging out with hooking up and shit. And eventually through hooking up and hanging out a lot, she started getting feelings. Bro, it's because I asked her and I was like, why didn't you blow me off the first time? She said, oh, because I thought you were trying to date me, and I wasn't trying to date anyone right at the moment. So if I came off the bat like, yo, I'm just trying to fucking, you seem cool. I'm down to hang out, but I'm not trying to be anything serious right now. Down to hook up, have fun. Then she's all about that shit, dude. That's like the modern girl, especially the younger girls, right? Or even just girls in their mid 20s, 30s, whatever, who are not trying to be serious. So, or not trying to get married, rather, I say. But anyways, guys, that's all I got for now. All right. So just remember, that's one thing you can remember. Okay, is what they say they want and what they actually want is totally different. They want that emotional spike. Okay, treat women with respect. But remember, they want that emotional spike. That's what they're attracted to. Okay, and they want guys who typically don't really want them. Anyways, that's all I got for now, guys. Shoot me a text 786-897-4754. Let's talk or hop on a coaching call, whatever. Peace.